We are back. Apologies for the
Back.
aggressive delay, but I just had some like sudden and unexpected fucking computer foibles. We should be good now.
Renders is alive.
Thank God.
Okay, there we go. Hey, Rindy, you're back.
Terribly sorry for the delay. I don't know what the fuck happened. My computer's been having all sorts of fucking shitty issues lately. Just go ahead and just share screen. Just know there's a very distinct chance that I'm gonna have some fucking audio shenanigans going forward because I might have missed something. So if there's any weird nonsense, let me know.
We'll pay attention to the stream.
Thank you. System volume good. Audio shit's going through fine.
Fuck, quick, somebody give me a different song. I have Dongo. I have the Dongo theme from Planet stuck in my head.
Anyway.
Without further delay, let's hop right into it.
Without further delay, let's celebrate and suck some.
Finally, good music.
I forgot I'd start. Wait, let me get my fingers clear. Alright. I've got a ladder. The ladder. Here we go.
Quadrillion. This is the only place you'll find that number written on this island. 1/10 of 10 quadrillion. How suspicious.
Our idea is right. There should be some sort of device embedded in that relief.
We just need to check. Who's going up? I'll go. Hold that ladder down, okay?
Be careful. It is fairly high up.
Rudolph climbed the propped-up ladder, step by step as the rain poured down on him.
Look at the queue. See anything? Some sort of device.
Ladder's a bit shaky. Oh boy.
What is it?
A church.
Did something happen? Are you a pretty ballerina up there again?
Bingo. Take a look at this.
Rudolph tossed the cue down, hit Kraus in the shoulder, and landed in a puddle.
This is the key.
What does that even mean? Rudolph code. Don't tell me you can take out the other letters too. Did that come through?
Yeah, looks like it. Guess our crazy theories weren't far off after all. What's the next letter to take out?
I. And then L.
Following her instructions, Rudolph removed the 6 letters of the first twilight. Now that they had gone this far, nothing stood in the way of them solving the riddle. By trial and error, they finally reached the final stage.
It says to gouge starting from the head, which must mean going from left to right.
Rudolph's-san. Starting from the left, turn the keys before taking them out.
Got it! Now we've massacred all of the letters. We reached the 9th twilight and none are left alive.
So? Oh? Did something happen?
Felt like something clicked, but nothing changed. Did a hidden door open up somewhere?
Hey! Look at that! It moved, I'm sure of it.
Everyone! Look! The lion statue is facing the other way.
What's going on? Is there some secret inside the lion statue?
That's not it. It's probably telling us to look where the lion's pointing. See? Look that way.
That lion's facing a different way too. What does it mean? It's guiding us, stupid. We have to go in the direction the lion's face.
Ava dashed forward. The others all chased after her. The goal was right in front of them.
Now this is a surprise. Who would have thought that a hidden stairway like this existed?
It makes sense now. Father didn't like people going near the chapel. I wonder how long that device has been there. Judging by the feel of this underground passage, probably for quite a long time.
I imagine it was built at nearly the same time as the mansion itself. The riddle of the epitaph was probably also planned many decades ago.
Well, this is Dad we're talking about. I try not to let the things he does surprise me, but this?
Just how far did the stairway go?
Hey, maybe that old rumor was true. You know, the story about him having a mistress in a
What side does the stairway go?
What?
Oops, whoopsies, I thought it was muted. Ah! I apologize
Mistress
deeply.
in a hidden mansion somewhere in the forest.
I see. It's likely that this underground passage goes all the way there.
double apologies for the delay. It appears that Khan is burping at the moment.
So I wonder where the staircase leads. It's a mystery. That is some loud ass dripping, isn't it?
Yeah, it's trippy.
Kinzo-san, your stairway is so long.
This stairway is absolutely moist.
So moist.
It's also damp
Oh, Randy.
and dank.
Would you say that
Randy.
this is also creepy and perhaps wet?
Oh, for sure. You can hear the wetness.
I asked if
I thought that was just Rosa.
I asked if the hidden passage that my grandfather has is creepy or wet. He says it's based. I go to the creepy passage. It's wet.
Well, you know what? That's not Rosa, it's Eva. She's just ready to get that gold.
I mean, in theory, the old saying goes, darling, it is better, downward is wetter. So,
They definitely made multiple sex jokes in that movie.
What? I guess.
I
I wonder how long it took to build this underground passage. Will we find out? The chat, the viewer, the delightful audience.
I bet it was really long, too.
Yeah, it's very long.
And it curves to the left for some reason.
I mean, you know, it's like that for a lot of people. Nothing wrong with that.
It's like a corkscrew.
I mean, island. It's like that for a lot of
Like a duck.
islands.
I don't know, like, there's a chance this is gonna go on for a little while. Should we just get Khan up to speed?
I'm gonna take this opportunity to also go to the bathroom real quick.
Okay.
Man, now it's becoming even more wet.
Help, we're drowning in here.
They're gonna go down the steps and it's just going to be flooded. It's going to be nothing but water.
Like, they can't even get in. The sewage got in. It's all poop water now.
I don't know why that's so funny.
He didn't maintain the place. Like, somehow the bedroom became pristine. That's like suctioned off from air, but everything outside of it is just poop water from the sewage getting in.
You know, Father always told us that they'd punish us by making us spend a week in the poop water basements. I never know he actually had one.
They come across the poop water and go, is this what they meant by the Sweetfish River?
hello, Rindy. I mean, not Rindy. AC, when Rindy comes back, get ready to put on the dress.
Yeah. This is taking a bit too long. Oh boy, I get to meet Rosa, my favorite!
You know what? I'll look for a good stopping point while you guys are doing this.
I was gonna say, well,
I'll do
Go ahead,
I'll
Josh.
do the research real quick.
I wonder if it connects to the mansion from that day.
Khan, BRBs,
Wait, are we
Khan
gonna wait
gets
for
a
Rindy?
vapor.
Or is she here?
Rinzi's back.
I think we found the goal. Look at that filthy door. Something's written on it.
Bingo.
Something was written on the door in red paint. On the 10th twilight, at journey's end, you shall attain to the power of the Golden Lens treasures once and for the final time.
does it open?
It does. Ready? I'm going to open it.
So we've finally reached the gold.
We can only hope that sweet deal's really true.
Let's open it, Nissan.
Hey,
Right. I'm opening it.
The heavy door opened slowly, and the gold-filled underground VIP rooms showed itself. They only had an instant to admire its splendid furnishing. As soon as the mountain of gold next to the canopy bed came into sight, they all froze, stunned. After a second, the sun sounds faded and was replaced by cries of astonishment and wild joy.
Incredible!
Can't believe it. 20 billion yen in gold. It really does exist.
What a shining mountain. It almost blinds the eyes.
We did it! We did it! We win this game!
You mustn't touch it without permission. This is Father's gold.
Oh, really? Then why don't you call Father down here now? Right away. The time for your farce is over and done with.
Natsuhine-san. Let's put an end to the obvious lies, shall we? We have a real mountain of gold right here. Shouldn't we all be honest with each other?
Unfortunately, we're all in a good mood and feeling very gracious right now. Just give it up already.
A pile of gold this massive carries magical power within it. That power to the most honest feelings within people. The light from the chandelier glinted off the golden mountain, lighting them up with its golden sparkle. It was as the sparkle controlled everyone present. For some time they forgot their age, and howled and laughed, running about and rolling around like a bunch of excited kindergartners at the park. Shit, Joshy was doing Angie before?
Oh shit.
I can't believe it.
Yes.
Man was comfortable.
Let me grab my pop filter real quick.
Joshy after
Joshy
being
was
like, I have no lines this episode.
I have nothing to do today. Oh no, fuck. Oh god.
Grab them.
Oh,
where did
God,
Khan
it's
go?
everywhere.
Quick, put on the skirt.
God
Don
damn
is
it, Randy.
doing
I
family
mean, if you
things.
don't want to, Randy could be there. Could be Angie.
I can be
I'll
Angela.
do. I see.
Get the dress on, Joshy.
Joshy be like, I don't want to do this, so I win. I want to do this, so AC loses. Anyway, continue.
Face.
What is all this? What's it supposed to mean?
Before the crimes, the epitaph has been solved and by all the siblings together.
That hasn't happened in any of the games before now.
Supposedly, Beatrice decided not to commit the crime if the epitaph was solved.
Yeah, supposedly. We'll see about that.
Angie snorted, but I believed. This is what Claire decided. Because she entrusted everything to the roulette of fate, she obeyed the result. She let the roulette decide her own fate, specifically because they couldn't decide on their own. So she'll do what it says. She'll follow her own rule. She'll definitely keep her promise. I don't think the crime will occur.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. Roulette's already made its decision. This is the end of her game.
If it's the end, what happens next? Do they all become happy, rich people, and the family leaves the conference unharmed? Does my family get an ingot that isn't chocolate as a parting gift before coming back to me? Will it be a happy ending for everyone? You think those witches would chain us to the chairs to show us a naive dream like that?
When she showed off the chain on her wrist with a clank, I was unable to counter her with confidence. But I want to believe. Though this might be the least exciting ending, Claire's game has now reached an end. Perhaps just once at the end, she wanted to show us a world where no crime occurs. Now that she's disappeared with no regrets. Is she leaving us a parting gift in the form of a game where no crimes take— where no crime takes place, in a sense, the most peaceful sort of game? I want to believe. If only these heavy cold chains weren't holding us in place in this theater.
Khan is back, so if you want to take back Rosa, then now's the time.
Essentially, that Gun, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, I was writing some stuff down.
Do you know what's happening?
I wrote it down. You there?
I got brought up to speed.
Say your line.
Is someone there?
Rosa's shrill cry brought the celebrating to an immediate stop. Rosa knew she'd seen it. The curtain against the wall had fluttered, and a shadow had been there behind it.
Come on, don't do that. You're just imagining things.
Is someone there? If you are, come out.
When Ava yelled, the curtain shook. And then a witch wearing a black dress appeared from the other side. In an instant, everyone realized that the dress was the same as the one worn by the witch of the portrait. And they realized one more thing. This person was the owner of this room.
Welcome to the room of the gold.
Her face and her voice were expressionless, blank. The others all looked at each other, wondering who should respond. Rudolph was the first to speak.
So you're Beatrice.
Indeed. And you're the one who gave Maria that letter? Indeed.
Is father behind this?
No. This is my game. If that's so, then we've won. We've solved the epitaph's riddle and found the gold.
We've accepted your challenge and won. That means the gold belongs to us. Right?
Indeed, it is as you say. You have solved the epitaph splendidly and discovered the hidden gold. This game ends in your victory. This gold no longer belongs to me, but to all of you.
It seems you're a graceful loser.
Hey, you. If we hadn't solved the epitaph's riddle, what were you planning to do?
The letter said that you'd take everything of the Ushurmia family.
Yes. I planned to take all of your wealth and all of your lives. I planned to do as I pleased with everything that exists on this island.
The witch walked toward the table next to the bed. Then, for the first time, the others realized what sat on that table. There were 4 rifles. There was also a case filled with bullets. The witch picked up one of the lead bullets lying on the table and played with it, her face still expressionless as she spoke.
If this night ended before you managed to solve the epitaph's riddle, I planned to follow the epitaph and commit 13 murders. What did you say?
That's what I thought when I first saw that epitaph. It almost looks like something you'd find in a serial murder mystery novel. That's right. If you had killed 13 people to match the epitaph, that would have made quite a mysterious crime.
There's no way you could do that all by yourself. No matter how many guns you had, killing 13 people, that would just be...
I formed my plan with great care and constructed several alternatives. I envisioned all of the actions you might take from tonight and through tomorrow, and prepared a mystery to deal with each of those. I'm afraid I cannot reveal those at this point, but it really was a tightly knit set of pleasant closed-room murders.
If there were just a few of us, you probably could have gunned us down in our sleep. But there's no way you could have killed 13 of us. We aren't that stupid.
It would seem so. At any rate, I predicted that the epitaph being solved before the first twilight was the most unlikely result.
It would seem that us reaching this place was a miscalculation on your part.
No. Even this was one of the results of the roulette I wished to create. This is probably the best outcome for all of you. No one will die, and you can leave this island with the gold. Congratulations. This game ends with a perfect victory for you all.
If no one could solve the riddle, she planned to take a gun and commit a serial murder. Everyone engulfed as they watched the witch motionlessly make her confession.
This confession of yours is the truth. That means you were trying to kill us.
Yes. That is true.
The hell? How can you just say it like that? You couldn't possibly expect us to treat you favorably after revealing that much to us, right?
I am prepared. You may do as you will with me. If you hadn't solved the epitaph, I would have done the same to you, so it is only fair.
This girl's got gut.
I planned this game because I was prepared to bet my life. I am satisfied with the result. If you wish to kill me now, I am prepared.
By now she didn't even treasure her life. As the witch spoke and walked near the others, they automatically stepped back.
The gold belongs to all of you. I planned to give everything to the one who discovered it first, but I didn't expect there to be 7 of you. I leave the decision of how to split the gold to you. I will not involve myself. And
The witch walked even closer. The group parted and she walked up to an antique clock behind them. The clock was large and had a dignified feel to it. The witch petted it and spoke.
allow me to explain the device within this clock. For you have gained not just the gold, but the entirety of this island.
What do you mean by that?
And if you read it like a murder case up until the 8th twilight, then only 13 people are killed. But by the 9th twilight, it clearly says that none are to be left alive.
What does that mean? That she was planning to massacre all of us?
Don't tell me! That clock! As you have guessed, it is linked to a set of explosives.
Are you the one that set that up? Or was that Ushumiya Kinzo?
Kinzo is the one who set up the device. It's the source of his mad magical power.
I don't have a clue what you're talking about.
In other words, Dad set up this bomb. And if he ever went broke, he was prepared to die in a blast that would wipe away everything. Including himself.
On this island, Shiromiya Kinzo made a contract with the Golden Witch and obtained the gold. However, that was not all he gained.
What are you talking about?
Wait, don't tell me!
There is that rumor about the remains of an old Japanese military base existing on Rokenjima. Could it be?
Your guess is correct. Beneath this island sleep the remains of an underground Japanese military base from the time of the war, along with 900 tons of explosives.
900,000 ton. Wait, 100 ton. That's unbelievable. If that exploded, the result would be unimaginable. Forget just the mansion blowing up, it'd leave a massive crater.
I believe an expert's estimate put it at a hole several dozen meters deep and a kilometer across.
There wouldn't be even a trace left.
Those explosives can be ignited by a special device. Once connected to the activation switch I just flipped.
Which are the switch on the top part of the antique clock?
If midnight arrives when the switch is in this position, the bombs will explode.
It's almost 12 now. In other words, it won't explode X hours after you flip it. It's a time limit bomb that only explodes at midnight.
Indeed. It is almost midnight now. If such an explosion is what you desire, you need only leave it like this. Who would want that? Turn it off!
By this time, Kinzo's probably the only one who knew. The secret base on Rokenjima had started out as a submarine base. However, when the plan reached a standstill, it was redefined as a top-secret base for homeland defense. A huge plan had been drawn up to have the Army and Navy perform a pincer attack on American forces if the latter decided to land on Kujukuri base and press towards Tokyo. As a trump card for the massive defensive maneuver, the Navy started stockpiling large quantities of explosives and fuel in absolute secrecy. And the Rokenjima base was the location of the top-secret stockpile. The buried explosives weighed 900 tons in total. Also fearing that the Americans might find out the island's secrets and seize the explosives, they set up a system for the self-destruction of this entire island. Kinzo, who knew all of this, decided not to remove this device, but provided him with a strange clock that could trigger such an explosion at night, at midnight. Any night at midnight. Kinzo was famous for building up his funds and using a vast store of gold. Then using those funds in several sinkers from gambles, one after another. Just when did his stockpile of gold and the 900 tons of sleeping explosives mean to him? At this point, we can only guess. Perhaps the true source of Kinzo's mad power wasn't the gold after all. If he lost a big gamble and all that he owned, he could erase this entire island from existence with this device. For the rest of his life, he must have put the gold and everything else he had on the line. Kenzo probably stared at this clock at times, noticed flipping the activation switch and letting it tick down. Maybe whenever he came up against a troubling problem, he would hide in here and flip that switch, with the intention of blowing everything away if he didn't think of a brilliant plan before midnight came. He gazed at the mountain of gold, listening to the clock tick toward his death as he searched for an idea. Perhaps Ashirami Akinzo's real study wasn't the one in the mansion, but at this place instead.
That sort of switch sounds just like Dad. So, maybe each time Dad worried about something, all of us kids were put on the line as well.
This is Father, so it wouldn't be unthinkable. This device now belongs to all of you. If you desire a massive explosion, use it whenever you please.
Are you crazy? Who'd want a big explosion?
These explosives are half a century old, right? Would they really go off?
Yes, of course. The explosives and the fuses are still working. I tested them myself.
You tested them?
You mean that? I see. Now I finally understand. So that's why the shrine disappeared, without a trace.
That summer, the shrine had disappeared completely, along with the reef under it. Though people found it odd that the waves could have wiped it out so completely, no one paid it much mind. And now this piece fits perfectly into the hole that caused the strange feeling.
Indeed. I used that shrine to test whether the explosives were still working after half a century. I believe you are all aware of the result. The little bit I used was enough to make that entire reef vanish. It's easy to see how 900 tons of that would cause an explosion large enough to rewrite the map.
If an explosion like that were to occur, it would certainly kill all of us. But what about you? I doubt you were planning to commit a group suicide with us.
This underground VIP room is connected by a subterranean passage to the remnants of the military base. If you go straight along, you'll come out at the hidden mansion on the opposite side of the island, Kuwadorian. It's about 2 kilometers away. If you make it all the way there, you should be able to escape the blast.
I see. So you plan to escape there just before the blast?
I have only said that such a thing is possible. You may not believe this, but if the 9th twilight ended before any of you could solve the riddle, I planned to die along with everything else.
There's something seriously wrong with this girl.
She's insane. There's no point overthinking it. If we hadn't solved the epitaph, she would have used those guns. Or else that switch. To massacre all of us, right? There's no doubting that now. You are correct. You have ended this game in the best possible way without there being a single victim. I wish to convey my respect and admiration. There may have been 7 of you, but you did solve that riddle, which took me in a single night. That is worthy of praise.
And I admire you for your graciousness and honesty in defeat. We'll decide how to deal with you in the future, but I intend to do all I can to reach a gentlemanly agreement.
Pay me no mind any longer. I am already one of the dead, who was already prepared to kill everyone and die myself.
What? Oh, the golden witch Beatrice solved the epitaph, reached this room, and revived. And now, many people had solved the riddle and reached this room, so her role was fulfilled. When the epitaph's riddle was solved, Beatrice's delusion of the witch ended. More likely, no one in the room was capable of understanding her grim determination. She herself was probably the only one who understood. As long as the many selves inside of her understood, that was enough.
I am one, yet many. I abandoned myself to the magical roulette of endless possibilities. The result, the answer, is this. This is what the tarot cards known as the Epitaph Ceremony have shown me. Beatrice is already dead.
They did not kill her. Oh no, still you.
I killed her myself, in accordance with fate's command. They will never understand, for all eternity.
The witch stared up at the ceiling without speaking for a while, then looked as though she'd suddenly remembered something. She grabbed the sleeve of her dress and took out some sort of card.
Oh, yes. I forgot. I have no need for money after death. I will give this to all of you as well. A cash card? I have converted a portion of the gold to cash. This is for the account that the money is in.
I see. Now this is the source of the Golden Witch's magical energy.
How much?
I've forgotten the details. However, there is more than 1 billion yen.
1 billion. Now that really would be magic.
True. There's nothing you couldn't do with that much money.
Very true. The strongest magic to counter the human's anti-magic toxin is this magic of gold. It may be that this card holds greater power than the ingots.
Certainly. Cash would be much more agreeable than ingots.
Here you go. I have no need of this anymore.
The card she held out was not taken by any of them. Who would ever just hand over a card with 1 billion yen in it? The mountain of gold, the device for blowing up the island, the card with 1 billion yen. All of these surpassed their understanding. So no one could bring themselves to take it.
I don't like it. What don't you like? Here you go. Here's a mountain of gold. And I'll turn off the explosives and give you a card with 1 billion yen while we're at it. Sounds far too good to be true. You're trying to trick us somehow, aren't you? I have no desire to trick you, but I won't try and force you to believe. I have offered you everything, revealed everything. What do you believe? And what you do is now for you, the new masters of the gold, to decide. You are even free to disbelieve all I say and leave this place.
Ava, I can't imagine that she's lying.
And how could you know that? I don't like how relaxed she's acting. It's as though she thinks she's already won. I just had an idea a second ago. What if she's lying about which is the off switch on offside on the switch? What do you mean, Nathan? Just a second ago, this woman flipped a switch to the side she said would turn off the bomb. But what if that actually armed the bomb? We solved the riddle, so you turned the bomb switch to on, trying to blow us and everything else up, right? If that is what you think, then feel free to flip the switch on this clock. It will be midnight in 1 minute. The clock will show you the truth. What did you say?
Hey, what are we supposed to do now? Is the bomb set to on now? Or off? I can't imagine that she's lying. It's inactive now. We shouldn't flip it.
But I don't like it! Why is she so resigned to her fate? Why is she offering us things one after another? She's tricking us into buy time. She wants to buy time until midnight so that she can go down in flames along with us. What about the switch itself? Is there some way to tell if it's on or off?
On the upper part of the antique clock was a metal switch that could slide right or left. Right now it's at the left. However, there was no marks in particular on either side to tell which one was off and which one was on.
Hey, tell us the truth. Which way's off?
Left. It's off now. You idiots! You really expect an honest answer from her? It's the opposite. It has to be. The right side must be off. We don't have any more time, Nissan.
Quit it, Ava. Don't touch the switch. It's set to off now.
Ava-san, take your hand off it.
I agree. It's off now. If she wanted to kill us with a bomb, she wouldn't have told us about it.
Beatrice! Don't think you can trick me! 5, 4, 3.
Second hand of the clock ticked past midnight. October 4th ended, and the curtain rose on October 5th, 1986. The switch still pointing to the left. The witch's words have been proven correct.
Have I gained your trust now? You bitch!
With a hideous sweat-covered expression, Ava snatched the cash card away from the witch's hand.
How about a bank book and a seal? Ugh. We can't withdraw anything with just a card. All you need is the PIN. It's 8 digits long. Wait a second! I'm writing it down!
Ava and Kyrie both took out a pen and a notepad and began writing down the 8-digit number that the witch told them.
That is everything I have to tell you and to give you. I will say nothing more. All of my tasks have been completed.
After saying this, the witch spun around and sat down in the bed. She wasn't even looking at the others anymore. She sounded like an empty husk, which had, that she had said, finished everything it existed to do. For a while, everyone watched the witch to see if she would remember something else and start talking. However, she said nothing else. The witch who had called herself one of the dead was now little more than a large French doll wearing a black dress.
Hey, I forget, was there like a bomb explosion sound at the end of each episode?
No.
No.
Okay, I don't know why I thought that existed.
No.
Gold is the only physical embodiment of magic that can exist in the human world. Since ancient times, even a small bit of it could control men with its magic. In that case, how much magic power would dwell within it, if it was piled up in a mountain so high you had to look up to see the top?
Don't be stupid, we'll split it evenly! Isn't that the obvious solution?
Didn't we say that half of this pile would belong to me, and the other half would be split between the four of us?
The yells of the humans dancing on the gold reverberated throughout the underground room. In front of the pile of gold, they were arguing about how it should be split.
Did you solve the riddle all by yourself, Nissan? You didn't, right? The four of us siblings solved it together. Of course we'll split it in 4 equal parts.
Coward. Weren't you the one who first made the proposal about the gold distribution? How can you disregard it so easily?
You really think you're in a position to bargain? When you're the ones hiding Dad's death?
Yeah! You've been swindling us this whole time, treating Father's wealth as if it were your own.
All you need to do is split the gold evenly, and we'll drop all the rest, including that particular issue. It sounds very fair to me.
Well, if you insist, go ahead and try splitting it 4 ways. Let's divide this pile up right now, and you can all take your own shares home. I hope you have pockets that can hold 2.5 tons of ingots. It seems you've all been driven mad by the gold and lost all ability to make rational judgments.
What do you mean by that, Kraus-Nason?
Look at this ingot. As you can see, there are no official markings, just Father's crest. How do you intend to turn unmarked gold like this into cash? Well, Have you finally figured it out? This pile of gold may be worth 20 billion yen. However, that's only if you can trade it for cash. Are any of you capable of exchanging this many unmarked, unidentified ingots for cash at the present, etc.? At the proper rates, no less?
If it was a necklace or a ring, exchanging it for cash would have been a manageable problem. However, doing that for several tons of unmarked gold that couldn't be made public would be impossible for any normal person. However, Kraus could do it. Among the several business friends that remained from Kraus's generation, there were some who had black market ties and a lot of financial power. The billion yen tied to the cash card that the Golden Witch had held out a second ago had already been turned into cash thanks to one of Kinzo's connections. However, none of the other siblings had any connections like that. They would have to rely on Kraus to get cash for the gold.
Now you're finally seeing it. I apologize for hiding all of those things about Father. However, you're in no position to take advantage of that weakness.
You really think you have such an advantage just because of something like that?
What do you intend to do with that gun? Please, you're scaring us.
If it was gripping the guns, or looked like it might snap. The 4 guns that the witch had placed in this room were now in the hands of these relatives. Just as the gold had led their hearts astray, seeing these guns the magical power to turn their hearts to violence. Finally, a scuffle rose between Ava and Kraus. Up to the side, Natsu started arguing with Rudolph and his wife, and the Grand Underground VIP room was filled with these thundering jeers. After being forced to watch this scene for so long, Angie's face was starting to contort with pain. It was only natural, after being shown this abusive argument between her parents and her other relatives.
On Earth?
It was painful for Leon, too. Leon would try to intervene and calm them if that had been possible. The goal isn't going anywhere, right? If you just slow down and think, you'll be able to resolve this. Going by what Ava said, it's clear they don't need a lot of money before the end of the year. However, the billion yen cash crush would be more than enough to pay for them. That would handle their emergency expenses so they could then convert the gold to cash at their leisure, and just split it amongst themselves. Sure, maybe Kraus is the only one capable of converting the gold, that might give him an advantage over the other siblings. However, this gold couldn't be dealt with by open means. In addition to attracting public attention, it also lead to various legal problems. It was better for the secret money to remain silent. They wanted to get the largest portions possible. They should all agree not to tell anyone about this gold. In other words, to maximize their profits, they would all need to make a gentleman's agreement to keep this secret. Kraus did have a slight advantage. However, it was possible for the other relatives to refuse to cooperate, tell the world about the gold. And then there was also the concealment of Kinzo's death to consider. Kraus was an investor. He needed not only financial clout, but also a certain degree of public confidence in him. His advantage isn't big enough for him to act so overbearing.
Gold has made everyone lose their ability to think rationally. This isn't an argument between adults. It's just a fight between kids.
What's so fun about showing us this? Or is this the game of some new witch? Are they watching us suffer from somewhere and laughing?
By now, even I didn't have a clue who was showing this to us or for what reason. At the very least, this new tale didn't seem to be overflowing with affection. At first, I thought it was a tale of a beautiful world where no crime occurred and Claire's regrets had vanished. But something's different. This tale is clearly filled with ill will towards us. I'm sure of that much now, but I don't have a clue who would want to show us this.
Suddenly, an explosion rang out.
Me?
Leon?
Okay.
Sure.
I didn't think it was the sound of gunfire. After all, people living a normal life never hear that kind of sound. It was the sound of thick raindrops hitting the floor. And there was no rain in this underground room. It was blood dripping down from Natsuhi's right eye. The bullet had gone through her right eye, towards the back of her head.
Natsuhi!
It's your fault for jumping at me.
The gun, which fell from Ava's grasp, landed on the floor with a hard, metallic clang. As though in response to that sound, Natsui's head slowly turned to face the ceiling.
Natsuhi! Natsuhi!
Natsui flopped backwards. On the back of her head hit the floor, a red splash spread beneath it, forming a single flower to adorn her dead face.
Natsuhi, Nei-san.
Why did you shoot her? Why? Ava! Ava!
Kraus howled, raised his gun, and ran at Ava. At the same time, Hideyoshi leapt between them. A scuffle broke out between the two men.
How could you? Natsuhi! No!
Cross, Nei-san, you've got it wrong. You've got it all wrong. It was just an accident.
Ava! How could you? I'll kill you! I'll kill you!
I didn't shoot. I didn't. No, even though I told her to stop, she just jumped at me.
Kraus, who had just seen his wife killed before his eyes, had lost all traces of rationality in his expression. He was so furious that, if he had knocked Hideyoshi aside and jumped at Ava, he might have torn her throat out.
Why did you kill her? Why? Ava!
It was an accident. An accident! Calm down, Krasny-san!
Another explosion rang out. Hideyoshi's face was covered with blood. They had been fighting over the gun Kraus held, trying to push it away from themselves. When the barrel had turned to the point at Kraus's chin, the sneering, formless Reaper, the master of the Room of Gold, had swung its scythe once more. A line of blood trickled from Kraus's mouth.
Oh,
I think that's me.
okay.
The two fell down, with Kraus's body on top of Hideyoshi. Letting out a cowardly cry, Hideyoshi backed away before Kraus's body could cover him.
Dear!
I didn't do anything! Krasny-san's finger just got caught on the trigger! It's an accident! An accident, I tell you!
That's right, an accident! This was all an accident!
As the pair of them broke down sobbing and repeatedly claiming that it was all an accident, Rose and the others were unable to say anything. The witch also Rhett watched the scene, but said nothing and appeared to be completely disinterested.
Hey, it wasn't our fault! It was just an accident! You saw, right? Right?
You saw that, didn't you, Rosa? Krasny-san and Natsuhide-san both let their emotions get a hold of them and charged at us! Who knows? I couldn't say either way. Stupid Rosa! You saw, didn't you? You saw it from right there, so you must know. I'm sorry. I can't tell if it happened by accident or if you killed them and tried to make it look like an accident. Rosa, you...
Erdov-kun! You saw! You know what happened, right? Right?
Sorry, but I agree with Rosa. We can't tell if it was an accident or intentional.
Rose and Rudolph's gazes looked very cold and indifferent to Ava and her husband.
What are we going to do? They were shot to death! Saying it was a simple accident won't convince anyone.
The forest! Say they went to the forest and went missing. I'll buy some time.
That won't get us off the hook, right? The police will just search the whole forest. And anyway, why would those two go off into an uncultivated forest like that? It looked suspicious from the start. There's no way we'll get away with this.
It'll be okay. We hide the corpses here, no one will be able to find them. If we all play dumb, it'll work.
It won't. There's no way you can fool the police. If the two of them disappeared during a family conference where we were arguing over the inheritance problem, the police won't just put it down as a case of missing persons. I just had an idea.
Though Ava had been scratching at her head, overcome with emotion, her arms suddenly felt as though their strings had been cut.
What did you think of?
An accident. We just need to make it look like an accident.
Idiot! What kind of accident? There are clear gunshot wounds on both corpses, right? If we burned them to make it look like they were caught in a fire, it'll still be obvious if they were killed by guns.
A fire? That's not good enough. We need more. A much more massive accident.
A massive accident?
Ava slowly walked forward, tapped it, and spoke.
An explosion accident. We just need the sort of accident that will leave no traces of their corpses.
As she played with the switch that would cause an automatic explosion at midnight, Ava spun around to look at them, a crazed expression on her face. It was truly a mad flash of inspiration. If they flipped the switch to the right and waited for midnight, the 900 tons of explosive would wipe out the mansion without a trace. There wouldn't even be anything left of the corpses. There certainly wouldn't be any way to tell that they had died by gunshot wounds before the explosion.
It's an unshakable fact this island is still filled with explosives from the war! Then, by coincidence, tomorrow night, something will set it off by chance and the whole thing will explode! Yes, it'll be an accident. Just an explosion accident. What do you say? There's no way the police will find out the truth. No way at all. This way we can pull it off. We can hide the manner of their deaths.
That's crazy.
Shaking, Hideyoshi frantically searched for a counter-argument, hoping to shut down Ava's mad idea. But he couldn't find one. If they blew everything up, the facts would all be muddled. They could make it look as though Kraus and Nazi had died in an explosion accident.
It's perfect. Just perfect! After all, it was an accident that they died anyway. We're just changing the type of accident. Isn't that right? We can think up any story we want. By chance, the rest of us will happen to be in the hidden mansion tomorrow night. Then when the explosion accident occurs, we'll be lucky enough to survive. That story should work. Just what sort of story are you planning on? What kind of story could explain how the two of them alone remain here? While the rest of us conveniently went to the hidden mansion and managed to escape. That's what we've got to think that out now, stupid Rosa. It doesn't matter what it is as long as we all agree to it. I'll think of something. I am thinking. You all think too. Someone think of something!
Calm down, Ava. I'll think about it. So will everyone else. Definitely think of something, and it'll all work out. We'll share the burden. You won't have to carry it all by yourself. It'll be okay. It will. I know we'll think of a good excuse.
What kind of excuse? We took the kids and all the servants to go exploring an underground passageway, leaving just the two of them behind. And the rest of us all decided to spend the night in a hidden mansion? Ugh. How could any excuse work? It's insane! And thinking up that insane thing is our job. Why are you acting like this has nothing to do with you? You think of something too! Hey, son? Let me ask you a question. If you blow up the island, what will happen to this gold? Well, we've finally gotten our hands on 20 billion yen of gold. And you want to blow it all away? We can just carry it away. Yeah, that's right. The explosion will happen tomorrow at midnight. We have a full day. If we all carry it together, we might. You realize there's 10 tons of it, right? Just how much do you think our small group can carry? Back and forth across this long underground passage that goes all the way across the island. You're being absurd. Here! We'll have this card, right? The card with 1 billion yen, the one that woman gave us. We'll just carry as much gold as we can. We have the card with 1 billion yen on top of that. If we split that 3 ways, we'll have more than 300 million yen each. That should be enough for all of our purposes. I don't like it. You don't like what? We have a mountain worth 20 billion yen right here. Why should we be satisfied with just 300 million each? Rosa...
Ava's face twisted in anguish, and was met by Rose's look of cold unconcern.
If we gave Kraus Nissan his share, we'd each have a share of 5 billion. Subtract the 300 million from the card, and the rest of my share is 4.7 billion. If you agree to pay that much to me, then you can do whatever you want with this mountain of gold. What do you think we're saying? So, you don't intend to cooperate? Nesan, please calm down and listen. This plan will let both of us leave with the maximum amount of money. What? I want you to go to the police and turn yourself in, admitting that you got into a scuffle and the gun went off. Are you crazy? I don't want to go to the police! Of course, we don't want to say that the crime happened here. The police would find the gold. Yes, how about the rose garden? It's pouring rain now, so the police probably won't find any contradictions at the crime scene. I let you think of an excuse for why you and Nissan started fighting while you were holding guns in the rainy rose garden. Please, don't try to get us and our shares involved just because you want to hide your own crime. Rosa! It's not so bad, right? After all, it's not like they'll keep you in jail for several decades. It was an accident, right? You'll be able to get out after just a few years. When you've paid for your sins and come back, then you can do whatever you want with your $5 billion. No, I'd never do that. What would happen if we were arrested? Huh? What would happen to my husband's company? Who cares about the company? With 5 billion yen, working any longer would just be a waste of time, right?
Rosa never intended to go along with Ava's proposal. If it was a question of maximizing each person's portion, no one had anything to gain from an explosion accident. An explosion would conceal Kraus and Natsuhi's deaths, but it would serve no further purpose. From Rosa's perspective, the ideal outcome would be for them to confess to their crimes, without any unnecessary tricks. All she wanted was to change the crime scene from here to a different place. However, Ava didn't want to be arrested. She didn't like having her share shrink from 5 billion to 300 million. But even that was more than enough to cover the amount that she had been trying to wring out of Kraus in the first place. She wanted to hide what had happened here, even if it meant blowing away 4.7 billion yen. What would happen if they were arrested? The life, the company, and the trust that they had worked so long to build. Things that couldn't be brought back with money. So she wanted to hide Kraus and Natsuhi's deaths, even if it meant blowing up all 4.7 billion yen worth of her gold. But from Rosa's perspective, that was just irrational nonsense.
Rosa! What do you think you're doing with that gun, Nae-san? Shouldn't you be pleasuring yourself in the bath with it?
What?
Huh?
Go back.
Alright.
No ad-lib.
Sorry about that. Look. Are you going to have me die in the explosion too? That'll make finding an excuse even harder. In fact, it'll make a hard explain away the other 2 deaths as accidents too. 3 whole deaths mean it'll be quite a large-scale crime. We would probably get you the death penalty. Or life in prison if you're lucky. Even in the best case, you'll probably be put away for more than a decade, right? Turn yourself in. If you do, this will no more than be a pair of unfortunate accidents. Of course, your jail term won't be too terrible either. Don't worry about George-kun. We'll take good care of him. And we'll make sure that your entire share of 5 billion yen is waiting for you when you get back.
Ava ground her teeth and glared. Those that she knew should have been shaking and obeying commands. And yet, Rosa wasn't scared. Her blank expression, no, that faint smile, and that Ava had never seen before.
Put the gun down, Nae-san. Once you calm down, you'll see that my plan is the best one. Jail isn't so bad, right? Think of it as a financial strategy. Even if they put you in for 10 years, there will be 5 billion waiting for you when you get out. That's like working for a 500 million yen salary, right? If you think of it that way, won't you enjoy your job more? Liar! You just want to steal my share away while I'm in there. Like your man did to you! He has nothing to do with this, okay? I won't run away. I'd never run away with someone's money. I'll never do it!
Rose's once frigid face was filled with rage. The two howling people pointed their guns at each other, shouting insults. You could smell the Golden's Reaper sinking closer. The smell of gunpowder, the explosive smell of death, filled the room. A bubble of blood dripped from Rose's mouth. Then she fell over lifelessly, like a mannequin someone had pushed over.
Ava!
It wasn't me! I swear I didn't even pull the trigger!
The round in the chamber of your gun was spent when you fired at Natsui-san, right? You never reloaded, so even if you pulled the trigger, that gun won't kill anyone. Have no fear.
As Kyrie said this, she maneuvered the lever action with a practiced hand, and a smelling shell casing was ejected. Hit the floor with a small metallic sound. The tiny sound had a disturbing ring to it.
Rosa-san's analysis was a little naive. She has no idea how difficult it would be to exchange this many unmarked gold ingots for money.
Back in Dad's day, even just showing this gold to get funding was enough to create the massive rumor called the Ushermia Legend of the Gold. Exchanging this for cash is impossible. A pile of gold you can't use is no better than a pile of crap.
10 tons of gold were exchanged for cash on the black market, and the successor and his wife died mysterious deaths. Expecting that to go unnoticed is what's really unbelievable. We don't want to get the police involved. We'll blow up this island and destroy all the evidence. If it's tough parting with the gold, feel free to grab as much as you can hold. The billion on the cash card is more than enough. In other words, Evanescon was right.
I'm glad. It looks like we're on the same page. If the police get involved, who knows what might happen? It's the same with cashing in the gold. I'm sure that you would have tripped us up somewhere, so we had no choice. But 1 billion that woman over there exchanged for cash is the only money we'll be able to get our hands on. And even splitting that billion, it'll be more than enough for what we need. On top of that, now that Rose is dead, our shares have increased even more. We can each leave this island with 500 million.
Exactly. As long as we don't let our greedy desire to cash in the gold control us. We can pretend that everything that occurred on this island never happened. And we have a way to do that right here.
By this point, neither deaths from accidental discharges nor shooting murders meant anything on this island. Everything would be erased equally by the explosion accident. No matter what happened between now and midnight the next day, everything would be rewritten.
And you told me to turn myself in. Stupid Rosa. You weren't satisfied with just 300 million? This is what you get for being too greedy. You brought this upon yourself.
Okay, son. There's no way. There was no need to shoot her, right? Even Rosa would have figured it out if you just told her.
I did need to shoot her. After all, Rosa-san's the only one who didn't fire a gun.
Does that matter?
The guns lying at your feet are Cross Nissans and Evanescence. Both of those have been fired. However, Rosa-san's gun can shoot if you just pull the trigger. It's hard to reload one of these if you aren't used to the lever action. An amateur would have some trouble pulling it off.
Kirie-san, what are you talking about?
You.
They finally realized what Kyrie meant. Rosa had the only gun that could still fire, so I shot her first. Oh. How foolish we were. Why didn't we realize sooner? Even though we lose the mechanism for erasing everything that happens on this island. Even Hideyoshi hurried to pick up guns that lay at their feet. At the same time, fire spat from Kyrie's gun once more. Hideyoshi let out a short scream, clutched at his chest, and fell over face down.
Dear! Dear! Why is this?
Ava fiddled with the lever action, trying to imitate something she vaguely remembered from a Western movie. Something seemed to be caught, and the still open lever didn't bulge. Or budge.
See? It's pretty hard.
You!
Kyrie finished reloading with a fluid emotion. The way she held it was as innocent and as sure as a kid playing with a squirt gun. With another heartless cry of gunfire, the puppet called Ava plumped down to the floor, as though its strings had been cut.
Rudolph's-on. The billion-yen card.
Sure.
The cash card with the billion yen, which Ava just grabbed from the witch, that alone was worth more than enough. The 20 billion yen pile of gold had skewed everyone's sense of value. So the few million yen is enough for people to kill over. And this was a billion yen.
Rosa-san. Those were some famous last words there. Just 300 million. You were too greedy.
No kidding. Oh, lucky me. I'm not to fish through her corpse.
As Rudolph walked up to Ava's body, he found the card lying beside it and picked it up.
So this flimsy little card is worth 1 billion yen. Sticking with the company would be a waste of time. So do we close up shop and spend the rest of our lives in some southern country?
I'm sure you get bored right away. Besides, I like seeing you get all worried about some problem, then leap around like a little kid when you finally overcome it.
Sure you do.
Thank you, Miss Golden Witch. Rudolph-san and I will make good use of this billion. Krasny-san promised to treat you in a gentlemanly fashion. But I haven't made any such promises.
She pulled the trigger without a trace of mercy. The ring of the gunfire died down, blood trickled from the witch's mouth, and she fell over onto the bed. Once again, Kyrie ejected the used shell casing. The 4 metal sounds of used shells hitting the floor seemed to symbolize the fact that Rudolph and his wife now possessed all shares of the gold.
All of them were really slow-witted. From the moment they heard about the bomb, they should have known that we wouldn't be leaving this island as a big, happy family.
Sorry about this, Aniki, Rosa. Well, that's life for you. Give me a break, okay? Aniki and Aniki get into a fight, Rosa gets dragged in. And I'm the one who picks up the pieces. Just like it's always been, right?
It wasn't as though Rudolph and Kyrie had planned to kill everyone and take everything but themselves from the start. Kyrie had quickly realized by the length of the barrel of the gun in her hands that it probably hold 5 rounds at a time. Yes. Kyrie and Rudolph were both very familiar with this gun. Rudolph, whose interest in guns was from old westerns, came from his father, owned a shotgun of the same model. Even Kyrie had earned the qualifications to use that gun, becoming familiar enough with it that they could go shooting together for fun. Including the witch, there had been 8 people there. 6 beside the 2 of them. Each gun held 5 rounds. That was one short. They never have to kill everyone.
To be honest, it really surprised me when they got into a fight and one of the guns went off.
That coincidental accident had provided the missing bullet. It wasn't the second shot. The very first shot, which had accidentally killed Natsuhi, then guaranteed that this massacre would happen. In the smoke and corpse-filled room of gold, the two of them wore easygoing smiles, hardly no different from those that they normally wore.
What do we do now?
Riddle picked up Rosa's gun. Then he fired a test shot at the wall and injected the old shell with a smooth motion like Kyrie's. Kyrie went to the box of bullets on the table, casually picked up a few, and loaded them one after another into her gun.
Set the bomb switch to on. Then we just need to wait 24 hours.
Everyone's gonna run wild when morning comes and they can't find us.
And then we just need to make sure they don't.
Guess so. What about Battler?
He's your son. Not mine.
Don't say that. Look how attached he is to you. He really respects you.
Then think of a clever way to trick him. I'll worry about Angie. You worry about Batlerkin. Fair enough?
Sure.
I'm kind to my own children. But it's a real pain to be nice to Asumu-san's kid. You understand, I hope.
His voice had grown cold. She had acted warmly toward Battler because that had been the adult thing to do. He was Rudolph's son, so tried to avoid being hostile, nothing more. But underneath, he was the son of Asuna. Woman Kyrie still hated even though she was dead. Now that she had given birth to Angie and finally built up a new family, was Battler to turn really such a happy thing for her?
Get yourself ready. Now that we've come this far, we can only go for the billion yen or die trying. If you can't convince Battler-kun, I'm sorry, but I won't be taking any chances.
No need to threaten me. I'll take care of it. I'll find a good story to tell him.
Make sure you do. I know Angie will be very sad if she's forced to hear about Battler-kun dying in an accident.
Sure. How do we start?
We have nothing to gain by waiting for morning. Now's the best time.
Oh, wonderful. Not even time for a break.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, damn.
Well, that's a perfect time for a break.
Oh,
So,
fuck.
man, this family sucks. Fuck these people.
Like the Vanderbilt here.
No,
I
these
think we're
are
ending it there.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which perfect, because I was starting to, like, my voice was starting to get a little scratchy towards the end there.
All
I
right.
know that feel.
I do have a few discussion
Way to
points.
go, Noir. Good
Hey,
shit, good shit.
My line stopped exactly when my voice stopped being scratchy from waking up.
I'm waking up.
Didn't you want to take a look at
Graveling
something,
dust.
Orange, or are you just gonna end it here?
Do
You know, we
graveling
can
dust.
end it here for right now.
Okay.
I mean, I could bring up some discussion points.
Mm.
Alright.
Main thing is, man, the Beato, who we are guessing is Shannon, she's crazy. Just complete nut job, kind of. Does she actually think she's Beato?
No.
Yes. What is Miato?
Like, did she actually think she's a witch? I'm having trouble figuring this out.
That appears to be the case. Whoever Beatrice is believes
thought
that
it
they are
was-
Beatrice.
Also, I wonder if there is a bit of callback. I'm not sure poetry is the right word in the gun being the thing that kills Beatrice in this, because early on they mentioned how like the ultimate weapon against magic was gun.
Oh
That's
yeah,
true.
they did mention that.
It's true.
But
I remember like a video game reviewer is like, I don't understand games that have guns and magic in them. Because guns are a kind of magic, right? You pull the trigger and someone's dead.
Kaboom!
Doom Guy killed a lot of demons with a boomstick.
Yep.
Also, so Shelly, you said we already know Khan called Kyrie for being a murderer. You said you also called
In this
her
case.
Shelly.
Yeah, I called it.
So here's the thing: we still don't know though if she will be the final murderer, because like Eva was probably the murderer in that one story. Like she made it through. Oh yeah, that actually brought up a thing. I forgot I wanted to bring this up. So it seems like something they're going for is that each of the fragments was like each of these episodes was a plan created by Beatrice, like something she thought up of how things might go.
Yeah, to put it in other words, each one of the episodes is just a way it could have gone. Yeah.
So the question is though, are we still in a plan? Are we still viewing a plan? Because Beatrice died.
I mean, yeah, they say that this.
Everyone's okay. Maybe this is what happened if everyone solves the epitaph, and this was supposed to be the best case scenario, but everything fucks up, and they're always gonna die afterwards.
I have my doubts about that. I imagine they'll end up out of the problem in the last episode. But yeah, so if this is plan she's been creating, like each of these episodes, does that mean we currently viewed a plan? Or maybe there's actually magic and there actually is a reset. Although I'm starting to get more doubts. I'm still banking on magic existing, just not being an important part of the actual mystery.
We saw some magic just now. It's gun magic. Well, one thing I'm confused about is that if everything after October 4th and 5th and 6th is canon, then why isn't Ava the killer?
I've actually just noticed this. Each of the prior chapters and everything, Beatrice's introduction. The second chapter dealt a lot with. God. Dealt a lot with Rosa, in mostly all of those issues and everything, and overcoming her confidence. Episode 3 was mostly with Ava, and her own struggles with it. Episode 4 was just pure flight of fancy. If anything, those prior game boards were all in Beato's head. This is the reality of what happened.
But what makes this one so special and the reality of what happened?
Because there's no fantasy or heart in it. Reality is cruel.
Oh yeah, this doesn't have no magical element. This was more straightforward.
So
Exactly.
Colin, do you have a guess of what the last episode will be then?
Probably setting right what has been set wrong.
So, happy ending?
You're gonna need to elaborate, Colin.
Okay, first off, Chelly said happy ending, not me. And secondly, I'm not sure how that's gonna be done. I still feel like there are a few other questions that haven't been answered.
everything else so far is pretty much falling into place.
Somebody mentioned that it's probably going to be an Angie-centric story, which I also think.
No, I think that it's gonna probably deal with Angie's subplot because that still hasn't been dealt with.
I'm wondering maybe it will be Angie figuring out the last remaining elements.
Like the last we see of Angie before the tea party, she is literally on her way to Okenjima.
Right.
Okay, but what is Angie even gonna do? Like, she's from the future. Is she gonna
Research what
use
happened?
magic time travel?
Yeah,
That seems silly.
Well, she
that-
is
that
from
would be
a
silly.
she is from a time where Eva survived.
Get the last piece. That's what she'll do.
Okay, but Khan, she's from a completely different supposed timeline. Like we're saying, like we saw Kyrie win here, potentially Rudolph, although I'm not sure if he'll make it out. I'm not even sure if Kyrie will make it out.
Did I
So-
miss the fact that the last gunshot was her killing Rudolph?
I don't know if that was her killing Rudolph, but it seemed that way. But
That was just a snappy way to wrap up the episode. The
yeah,
chapter.
it could have just been a transition. I'm thinking it might have been at Rudolph, but maybe it wasn't.
Quick question for Khan.
Yo.
Could you elaborate on what you mean by like the final piece for Angie? What does that
Well-
mean?
Oh, okay. Normally, it's just everything else has been solved. So if Angie's seen all of this, and the last chapter is indeed Angie-centric, then what she would find in that last chapter would be the last piece that fits the entire picture back together.
Okay, but Khan, I would like to ask, how was Eva still alive in her timeline? Because that's like the primary Angie we've seen.
Survived the gunshot.
Probably. She didn't double tap her.
Yeah, man, this isn't
we're not
Scream.
doing confirmation bullets here.
True.
Where did Eva get hit?
You know, it's like
Don't-
one of those Zombieland rules: double tap and also confirm.
Oh no.
Where did we know where Eva got tapped? Would that
No.
be in the? Would that have been in the like encyclopedia thing?
No.
I mean, it might have been. We've
I don't
seen
know.
like
She could have survived by her being shot somewhere in the chest, but not in the death blow part.
I mean, kind of like in that little encyclopedia thing, like it shows you where they got hit. Like if it's been in the chest, if it's in the head, it shows.
It might be there.
Because
You'd
it
have
might
to
have been
ask
in a vital
that,
area.
man.
I'm asking them, guys.
Any response?
We are discussing that. at the moment.
The council will
it's
decide if we
spoilers.
can answer your question. If not,
It's one of those answers.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about like just stuff in general as well, and also a bit of like timing.
Because I imagine they would have to reopen the game to find out this answer, and I'm not sure if they want to bother.
It's true, especially with Orange's computer kind of doing a fucky wucky.
Well, let's see what we find this time. Anyway, that's my thoughts. I think I got most of that. I did not expect bombs. That's something I didn't. Con, you seem surprised.
Yeah, I am genuinely surprised. My brain did not go to bombs.
How many bombs was it?
900
Like-
tons.
900 tons of explosives is a little sillier than I was expecting, I'm gonna be honest.
To be fair, they were funded by the Japanese army before World War II.
Wait, Crimson, you expected bombs?
Because they were on a military base. They have to have bombs.
Okay, but did
Okay, he has a point.
Okay,
But why would you expect that they just left? Like, why would the military not take the bombs back? Like, why would they not? Why would the military just doesn't misplace 900 tons of explosives?
Well, it can if basically if the military that took over the United States at the time, the United States military did not know about it.
Wait a minute,
Also,
though.
I mean, first of
if
all,
you-
what
if you
did
do the
US have to
math-
do with Japan?
All right, Shelly,
What
wait,
was
you
that?
go.
If you do the math, 10 tons is the bombs we dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
That-
900
that was
tons?
Oh yeah. What's it? 900 tons that they said?
Yes.
So there was a nuke on. So there was essentially a nuke.
There was
worth
like
on that island.
a modern nuke. Because we have that now. That's a modern nuke.
All right, I guess they just had a lot of goddamn C4.
The only thing
whatever
is,
they
it's
had.
not a radiation bomb, so it's not going to kill everyone on the island, or else you would need
You-
a lot more clearance.
If you'll recall, they only said 900 tons of military-grade explosives. So no, it was not a hydrogen bomb, it was not a nuke, it was not a nuke.
Okay,
I'm not saying it's not a nuke.
well,
I'm
I wasn't
saying
saying it
that's
was a nuke.
why they're safe on the other side of the island.
Yeah,
Exactly, they
I
said
thought he
there
was
was
saying
radius.
Yeah, I thought he was saying like the explosive tonnage, but apparently it was the
No.
equipment tonnage.
Yes.
Okay, that's different.
I think it might destroy an island's worth, but not.
I mean, they said it would reform the map. Like it said it would change the map.
Yeah,
I think that was figurative.
None of this has answered Sim's question.
Well, what did he ask?
Why would the military not take the explosives back?
Kenzo covered it up, and also the United States military did not know about this. Remember, United States military after World War II basically took over.
Dude, this is Japan.
Yeah, but 900 tons is such a ludicrously huge.
Shit, we don't know what happened.
That is such a ludicrously huge amount of explosive. It is kind of breaking my suspension of disbelief.
It kind of is.
At the same time, there are probably,
I'm
if
gonna-
you get incredibly unlucky while you live in Europe, you'll probably end up blowing up from an exploded shell. There's a lot of fucking explosives used in World War II.
I'm gonna make a headcanon here and just say Kinzo possibly had the influence to hide it. I'll just go with that.
He kind of did. He bought a whole island. That's technically impossible nowadays.
He is the one that made.
You can very easily buy an island these days.
Back then, not now. Back then.
He is the one that made the device as well, so he's the one who also hooked it all up. So Kinzo's crazy. Okay, we can go ahead and get that out of the room. I think the best way to also go ahead and describe this kind of situation is suspension of disbelief is necessary to go ahead and tell this ridiculous part of the story. I'm not sure if that actually is still true or not. Could be less, could have been a bluff. I don't know. You don't know. All we know is there's a bomb.
Yeah,
By the
whatever.
way,
It doesn't really matter that much.
This one thing, I actually misread the 10-ton nuke. That is like the smallest thermo nuke we have. Like it was much weaker than the one we dropped on those cities. The one we dropped on those cities would be I think it said 10 kilotons, so 10,000 tons of TNT.
Okay, yeah.
Not 900.
So it's not nuke. It's not nuke level.
It's not nuke level at all. It's like a 10th.
It's not a nuke.
Well, we're not saying nuke. We're saying nuke level, like the amount of explosive tonnage, but it's not.
A different way of explaining that because you can't use the word nuke. You probably use like some type of other measurement of explosion.
We've come to an understanding that it's not gonna be the Big Bang. It's gonna be a smaller bang, and that's all we need to know.
There are nukes on Ketchum Island. You'll need to disarm them.
Let's move on for the bombs, please.
Moving past the explosive stuff, I think the simplest explanation you can provide is that basically just they did mention before a bunch that they did just straight up stockpile a shitload of explosives there, and then the most you can imagine is literally just once the war ended, they kind of just left it there. They just forgot about it. The military isn't necessarily the most competent group of people in the world.
Word.
Anyway,
Especially the Japanese one after World War II.
Moving on.
Anyway, I want. So, did you guys figure out where Eva got shot?
We cannot tell you.
Oh wow! All right.
I mean, the text didn't tell you, so we can't tell you. Like,
I mean, that little encyclopedia thing will like.
Let me find the thing for you.
Bone, they're keeping it a secret for a reason.
I know. I'm just.
There you
go. I'm just explaining my
That
thought
might not be
process.
true.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know that. It is simply not information given. It might be meaningless.
Yeah.
This also, if I may, a bomb actually going off and putting a crater there would explain why they didn't find any bodies, and why the only part of Maria that was actually found was just a piece of her jaw. It wasn't destroyed by hellhounds, it was destroyed by an explosion.
That actually makes sense.
Exactly.
Why didn't they mention the explosion at all?
Because then that would have given it away.
I guess, but
also explains why Eva's in the hospital being decrepit. She probably survived an explosion.
She was just old.
She probably survived getting gut shot.
She-
That's why she has to stay in the hospital.
Yeah, she was old.
And also poisoned by the KGB.
The Wicked Witch of the East, bro.
Wait, is that actually a thing?
No.
Oh, okay.
Grow up.
My guess is she was probably gut shot, so she has to deal with that for like the rest of her life because she was like what 50.
This
It's hard
also
to survive that.
does explain more of the clock face motif we've been seeing. That wasn't just clock face motif because of the time limit for the game. It was actual time limit for the bomb on the island.
Oh yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, that makes sense, actually.
And
Yeah.
that will be left alive.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Foreshadowing question. I don't know if that's the term. I don't think
That
that's
is
the term.
foreshadowing.
Illusion.
Or Chekhov's gun.
I don't think it's a Chekhov's gun. Is it a Chekhov's gun?
The clock is a bomb.
No.
Technically.
I don't think that's a Chekhov's gun.
That's not a Chekhov's gun because the Chekhov's gun would have implied that we had ever seen this clock before at any time.
Exactly.
A Chekhov's gun is when you bring up something that has been mentioned earlier in the narrative as being something of import far later.
Oh, I actually do have another thought. I found it odd that Beato brought out 4 guns. Why 4? Why didn't she bring out 1?
Rule of 4.
I don't know what that means, Con.
I don't think the rule of 4 is a thing.
There's no rule of 4. It's a rule of 3s.
Well, man, I'm trying to sound smart here.
Well,
There's also the rule of 2, which means that there can only be a Sith master and a Sith apprentice.
So I'm wondering, was Beato giving a final test? Was she seeing, are these idiots gonna kill each other?
I don't think Beatrice cared either way. She
No,
resigned
man.
to her own fate.
She was dead inside, dude.
Well, I'm willing to think that it was like a final test kind of scenario. It's like, are these idiots going to be able to actually distribute the gold among themselves?
The one question I don't get is what was Beatrice's end goal? She wanted to test fate and no, but what was her end goal in all of this?
To
she wanted to
fulfill her-
test fate.
To fulfill her purpose and then just pass. That's all she wanted.
Probably to deal with Kinzo's inheritance.
Well, my question is like, why was that her purpose to be like blow up everyone or herself?
Because
I'm okay. No, I think there's probably a bit. I imagine it goes deeper than just fate.
What?
It's probably wait. You said just fate, right?
Yeah.
I think it goes deeper than that. Like I imagine there's actually like a bit of a reason. My guess is that it's probably to actually like go with Kinzo's inheritance to fulfill the ceremony, stuff like that.
No, there was never a ceremony.
So the Beatrice that we saw here, that was the one who ascended from being a servant, right?
Well, we think.
Yeah, it was Natsu the whole time.
Natsui?
No, Yasu, the servant.
Oh, Natsu. Oh, Yasu. I thought you said Natsui.
Nope.
But she could still exist.
Alright, guys. Okay, listen. Okay, never mind. I'm being told to be quiet.
Orange being told no.
Shut up, Crimson. Anyways.
I got my thoughts out.
Well,
I've already said my piece.
Okay. Alright then. Yeah, we're just gonna end the stream there then.
Oh shit,
Good
my
night,
phone's-
everyone.
Good night, everyone. Read Beagle's
Night.
Good night.
I agree.